I think for me, this systematization of an accounting firm really starts at what we're offering our clients, how we're packaging it, how we're productizing our services. The professional services industry, it's a tough business to scale. It's not too difficult when you got, a couple clients, but if you have hundreds of clients, it becomes very difficult to scale due to the unique nature of every single client that we're dealing with. And a lot of firm owners have trouble with that. If we can turn our offers into packages and we can put all of our clients onto those similar packages, that's when the systematization begins, in my opinion. I think that's the most important part of a systematized firm is having a good packaging strategy with all of our clients fitting into those packages.
So curious because you mentioned packages and systematization. We are filming this right after the new year in 2025, and right before the new year, some news came out regarding bench accounting and their closure with like 35,000 clients. And just curious how you see that impacting kind of like the accounting industry going forward because they were innovative in many ways. And there's kind of been this rate debate, I think, back and forth is this tech, is this AI, what's going to take over accounting, or is it really just all about people and small accounting firms? How do you see this kind of playing out in the future?
So I've been following this side of things for many years now. And I think one of the, I started Future Firm as a blog, really, just kind of journaling my thoughts, journaling my experience, giving tips and tricks and talking about things happening in the industry. And one of the blog posts that really put Future Firm on the map when I started it was a blog post called Will Accounting Tech Startups Overtake Your Firm? And that's when all these, like this VC money was coming into the industry with Pilot, with Bench, with Scale Factor, with a whole bunch of them. And I've long looked up to Bench and some of these others because I think they understand how to approach the customer experience. I think they understand how to approach marketing these types of services in this day and age. I think they do a lot of things right. I just don't think they have the business model. A lot of them just didn't understand the business model, and a lot of them talked about automation doing a lot of the heavy lifting when in reality behind the scenes it was a lot of manual work. Not to mention Bench in particular, I suspect their pricing, so they might have had good packaging, like some of our blog posts have referred to their packaging strategy, but they had poor pricing. They raised a ton of money. They were burning through a lot of money. They had a massive team in place of hundreds and hundreds of employees. They had their proprietary software to handle the books. So they had a lot of capital required, a lot of expenditure, and they had an ultra low pricing strategy. And I just didn't see how that was ever going to work, truthfully. I think they started at $150 a month, and then you go onto their website right now, it's like $299 a month for like full-fledged bookkeeping. It's not sustainable with that kind of cost structure, in my opinion, no matter what sort of volume you're doing. So I just think the failure probably came from the poor pricing strategy. So they had good packaging. They were able to productize it. So they probably had a formula that was rinse and repeat to get clients in the door and into the routine service delivery, but they had a poor pricing strategy, in my opinion. I think that's where it probably fell apart.
My guess would have been also that they might have been pricing for AI to take over and just hoping that it could get there. And as I think both of us would agree, it's not quite there yet. There's elements that we can automate, but there's certainly still the human element. I don't know how long it's going to take, what that exponential curve is, but I am curious about this because obviously our focus here on this podcast is about building remote teams, but as AI comes in, I almost kind of see that as another team member in many ways, or an augmentation to your current team. And
Yeah.
so, really, we're talking a lot about that on this program because that I believe is going to be key moving forward. Because if you're not using automation, you're going to have some serious uphill challenges. Maybe you can just keep lowering your rate, as people become more efficient using AI. And if you're not using it, maybe you're willing to do that. But I think basically you're just waiting to die.